Hey, today we're going to go over the latest major order because we've actually won. We'll check out the latest patch, go over everything within the patch. We'll check out the latest Coretta Kelly news video, and there's just so much more to cover. If you've enjoyed my content in the past, please consider tapping the thumbs up button below the video. With that said, let's jump right in. Okay, Helldivers, let's first check out the Into the Unjust 4.1.1 patch. This just dropped a few minutes ago, and we're going to go over all the information here because, to be honest, it's really good because a lot of you out there wanted these changes, right? You wanted the game to run smoother, and hopefully it does after this. So right here, the developers wrote, "Freedom's greetings, Helldivers. For this ongoing minor update, stability, and balance improvement, we're the focus of the team. We look forward to hearing how you feel we're keeping the galaxy and democracy running smoothly." And then down below, they said they fixed crashes, some of the hot joining and stratagem related crashes, reduced some frame rate stutters during the drop-in sequence, and they fixed an issue here that was related to unused textures loaded into memory. So that's pretty much the highlight of this patch. So speaking of that, we're going to go over here to the fixes. They fixed a few crashes like they talked about a few seconds ago with the hot joining issues. That has absolutely been resolved. They fixed a rare crash, I guess apparently when enemies would fall through the ground. That's interesting. You think that would be an issue in the past, but apparently it's affecting us now. Well, was affecting us. They also fixed another crash that would happen during a mission, and that was another one. And then there's two more crashes here. Apparently the game would crash when the mission would load, and then they also fixed a crash when you were interacting with the weapon customization menu too quickly. Finally, they actually fixed all the crashing issues with the customization menu because I'm sure you all were annoyed there with that, right? I certainly was, because this thing has been around forever and it still ends up crashing our games or our game, and it's just interesting that that bug still exists. Nevertheless, we've got miscellaneous fixes. Right here, they talk about the extraction shuttle and how it will no longer bump into tall structures when trying to land near the landing pad. That's a great fix. Now, can they actually resolve the issue where it clips into the ground? I don't believe they mentioned that in the previous patch or the patches before then, right? Next up, they fixed an issue with the game pads and how they would disconnect and reconnect, and that's with the missing haptics. Continuing on, the next bug I feel like is not a big issue, and maybe they should have focused some other bugs, but you know, they are resolving all issues here. So right here, they fixed an issue where you could ragdoll and fall through the ground on the tutorial mission, or at least certain section. That right there doesn't seem that important. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not, I don't know. Let me know. The last and final issue here, they fixed an issue with unused textures being loaded into memory accidentally. So maybe that has to do with something with the hard drives and SSDs. I've got no idea, but that's interesting. Then we're going to go down here to optimizations, the good stuff. What a lot of you have been wanting for ages, right? Optimization improvements. So for PC only, they fixed an issue where the textures would appear in low resolution. Even though we would have the memory available, it would still do it. So they fixed that. They also fixed an issue when reducing the flashlight reaction on all muzzles. So if you guys recall, there was a big issue. A lot of players out there were just like, man, I hate the flashlight, right? But maybe that helps right here. Who knows? The third and final issue here is they reduced the frame rate stutters during drop-in sequences. So when you're diving down, it should no longer stutter a little bit, because I know that was a frequent issue in the past, and that should be resolved, right? Because yeah, that absolutely sucked. You load in, it would just skip, and then you'd land. Anyways, last but not least, we have the final issue here. The optimized destruction on various tree assets to maintain performance. So they adjusted some things with the destruction on various tree assets to make things run smoother. So that means, forest biomes and, trees in general, it should be a lot easier on your machine when they get destroyed. So yeah, that's pretty much everything you need to know about the latest patch. I just wanted to quickly run through it, and it looks like a great patch. No new content, but yeah, bugs are being fixed, and optimization is being improved. Let me know how this patch has been treating you all. Has it been good? Has it been bad? Let me know. Moving along, let's talk about the latest major order. As you all know, we just completed the major order. We officially liberated a hive world. And here's what Coretta Kelly had to say in her latest news video.
Freedom's greetings. I'm Coretta Kelly. Super Earth High Command declared the total victory of the Great Expedition, following the successful reduction of the Gloom spread and the discovery of element 711 on its planets. Now, the Helldivers have been deployed to support a new, even more ambitious plan to extract E711 and use it to secure plenty of living space for all Super Earth citizens. This plan has been named Operation Free Space. While the Gloom will be allowed to continue existing, the Ministry of Defense has expressed high confidence in the Helldivers' ability to contain the amorphous space cloud. In other news, the heroic 10-year-old who turned in her own parents for dissident speech has become the youngest ever recipient of the Super Presidential Medal of Ultra Freedom. That's Liberty's latest. I'm Coretta Kelly.
Okay, let's quickly go over what we just heard. So you notice how they said contained instead of like remove? Yeah, and the reason for that is because we really need E711, so it's not like we're going to actually remove the Gloom because we need the E711. So what's going to happen in the future when some, I don't know, other terminate types start mutating, right? What's going to happen then? Are we going to have a worse situation? Can you imagine a Hive Lord becoming more mutated? It'll be interesting. Secondly, that little girl, good on her. You got to always bring out these dissidents, right? And even if they're your parents. So awesome stuff there. I thought the last part was hilarious. I actually giggled a little bit there. But yeah, anyways, that's pretty much the Coretta Kelly news. We're now going to check out the brand new major order message from High Command, and here's what they wrote. A great victory has been won through fortitude and ingenuity. The mark, or the merc, of the Gloom has been pierced. The first hurdle towards freeing the galaxy from its shapeless menace has been cleared. Hiveworld Oshaune has been liberated. The tireless efforts of the Helldivers have purged the terminate infestation from the planet. Safe spelunking crews have been deployed to map 2 extensive tunnels and identified any remaining E711 reservoirs. Massive Hive Lord carcasses are being butchered and transported to off-world processing and research facilities. Most importantly, 99% of the planet's hive lungs have been destroyed. Already, Gloom density in the local system has drastically reduced. The E711 on the planet will be invaluable to the progress of managed democracy. It will be harvested, studied, and fully exploited for the prosperity of every citizen. While this is a monumental victory, much of the Gloom yet remains to threaten freedom. More hive worlds remain shrouded within. We will not rest until everyone is liberated and their E711 harvested. So there you go. It seems we're supposed to contain the Gloom so we can pick up the E711 and continuously harvest it. And if it wasn't there, then it would be absolutely wasteful, right? We would most likely liberate everything and not even bother about the E711. But the fact that it actually produces it makes things interesting because, again, we have to contain it and not destroy everything within the Gloom because, yeah, we would ruin the whole operation of space freedom and whatever it was called. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed that. I thought that was interesting. I thought the Coretta Kelly video was interesting. Let me know your thoughts about the patch, and also let me know your thoughts on everything we just covered with the major order and the Coretta Kelly video and all that good stuff. Lastly, we're going to go over the top 3 comments, and I know a lot of you have been wanting me to go over this as of late because I just haven't, and let's talk about it right now. So right here, we have a comment from Tassar Fox 3462 that talked about how the Ministry of Science is just making our lives miserable because, well, a good example would be the E711 situation, right? We have to dive on these hive worlds and then just continuously grab E711 but not liberate it. Well, liberate the planet but not, completely remove the Gloom. I thought that was interesting. And you made a good point there, Tassar Fox. The second top comment is by the Night Owls, KS. And he talked about how the rupture strain is way easier than the predator strain, and I have to agree because, to be fair, I mean, the predator strain just swipes way too fast, so you have to use something like a shield or a ballistic shield, one of the two. But yeah, I absolutely agree. I think it's way much easier to go against the rupture strain than the predator strain. Last but not least, we have another comment here by Daryl is Poncho, different Helldiver, that talked about the predator strain, the dragon roaches, and the hive world and how it equals pain. And you know what, man? It actually is. It's kind of annoying, but thankfully they replaced the predator strain with the rupture strain, so things are a little bit easier in that regard. At least in my opinion. With that being said, this is the end of the video. If you can, support the channel by tapping the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing, turning on notifications, and all that great stuff. And also tap the hype button below. Thank you so much for watching the video, whether you're a subscriber, a member, or a lurker. I just appreciate the fact you stopped by, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching again.